is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes.
Right.
That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things. Is that if you go back before...
Wow. This lady has managed to put me in quite a predicament because I have no idea what title to give to this video. And I'm pretty sure that the title you see is still not good enough in order to get people to click, because I actually want everyone to see what the left genuinely means by fascism and why they are so terrified because of it. And in order to understand this, the first step is to realize that not every person on earth has the same dreams and aspirations as you do. And not every person on earth benefits from the stuff that you want. And more importantly, they don't even have the same principles or values that you do. And what I mean by this is that I assume you, the viewer, are a person that's hardworking. Like, you have a job, and you go there and you produce wealth. And so the promise that there's going to be no income tax, no regulation, cheap living, is a godsend for you. Like, you actually want that society. That's a nice place to live in. But take into account that there are other people out there that work for the government, whether they're consultants, or maybe they work at programs like USAID, or maybe they're politicians, or they work with politicians, or they're police officers, or doctors in a public healthcare system, or whatever the case may be. But they're getting their money from the government. And so for them, this is existential. Like the idea that the government could shrink, that it would stop taking your money and giving to them, is horrifying. Like, those people have families as well, and when they go home and not be able to provide for those families, to put food on the table, like, it terrifies them. Like, imagine a bureaucrat or a consultant, and all of a sudden the government doesn't have money for him anymore, so he can't get any more governmental jobs. And now he has to compete with the free market. He has to compete with the immigrants and the Indians and the rest of the peasants. I mean, they don't like that. It's horrible. And some of them, they actually have to be asked for the first time in their life, like, what can you do? What is it that you do exactly? So those people are quite high in number. And those people, they require the government to tax you and take your money so that they can have a salary and a wage. And they use the word fascism in order to radicalize the masses against you and your ideology. They use the word fascism not just to tell their own friends and inner circle that this is bad, like it's existential for us, but to also tell the people on welfare that they have to fight for them. The left doesn't like to talk about welfare a lot, and when they do, they pretend that everyone on welfare is in the same category. But anyone that actually lived in a neighborhood that's poor and has people from all walks of life, like, know that that's not the case. There are indeed people on welfare that managed to get there because they got fired from a job and it's a transitional period. For them, welfare is a safety net. They fell down, the net caught them, and now they're getting back up. But there's a lot of people that actually like the welfare. Like, there's a lot of individuals that use the welfare like a hammock. They're not interested in getting a job. They're not interested in being productive. They genuinely love being on welfare forever. And so for those people, the idea that the government is going to stop taxing individuals and is going to shrink, it's existential. It's horrifying. And this is the type of people that this lady is talking to right now. They're saying, yeah, like, they're fascists. They want to destroy society. And from their point of view, like, they are destroying their way of life, right? Like, if your entire way of life is to be on welfare, like your mother was on welfare, now you're on welfare, and you're not paying taxes anyway because maybe you're doing some hustles, or, you're part of a gang or some shit, right? And you're making money off the books. Like, you have absolutely no reason to want the country to become with less crime, to have less regulation, to have no income tax. It's also interesting that the income tax, if I'm not mistaken, in America, it was actually set during World War II. And the income tax was done to be a temporary thing. But it became permanent, right? So now, like, removing the income tax is fascism. Fucking insane, man. Fucking insane. But yeah, like, you have people say, Democrats, I beg you, run on fighting this scary agenda. They absolutely will. Like I'm pretty sure like they will not sell it like this to the public, right? Because like they're not morons. They're part of a party that has managed to win many elections throughout U.S. history, so they do have competent people. And they will sell it to the public in the way that is like, oh, we're fighting the rich, we're fighting the 1%. The 1% is taking a lot of money from you. We need to tax them more. We need this and this and that. Like the Democrats have won elections on this before, right? Obviously, they're not going to have this lady to come out and speak for them. But I guarantee to you, like, this lady is also useful. Like, she's not speaking to you, right? She's not trying to convince a right-winger to change their mind. No, she's trying to radicalize her base. Like, she's trying to make her base more violent. She's trying to make her base more politically engaged. She's trying to make her base go door to door and sound the alarm, right? So, like, her level of hysteria is absolutely what the Democrats need when it comes to her base and her demographic and the people that, you know, her viewers. But they're going to have like different people for different demographics and different viewers. And for like the educated corporate office drone, it's going to be, yeah, we're fighting the 1%. I have a feeling like they're going to drop the identity politics for now. Like they're probably going to ease up with the wokeness and the LGBTQ stuff for a while. And so like they're going to pivot to income. Right? Like up until now, it was race and gender. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Democrats next elections, they go on income. And more importantly, they will go on free speech and freedom of expression. Especially, you know, after a lot of Republicans are now jumping in on, oh, we need to regulate the pornography and the internet. And we need to ban this and that. Like with the Jimmy Kimmel shit show. It doesn't matter if it's not true. It doesn't matter if it's right or not. Like, they will lie. They will create their own narrative. They will create their own version for their voting base. And I think that's what they're going to go with. But let's listen to some other things, right? Like, this is another take, which also from MSLSD. Like, I swear to God, you know, like, CNN has managed to recover some sanity lately. The Young Turks are also a little bit more sane. But MSNBC, like, the only way I can call them is MSLSD. Like, you need to be high on drugs to watch them and not to laugh when you hear what their speakers are saying.
I do believe that this election is a litmus test for American tolerance for fascism. The elements of fascism are rooted in this nationalistic drive for more babies for the state, for a strongman-driven.
Right, so like, again, you need to understand something else about demographics. I personally don't think that the current birth crisis is a problem. I think it's an economic problem, not an existential one. Like, the idea that people are having less kids, I don't give a fuck. Like, normally, in a society where people are having less kids, the young generation would profit. Like, the young generation in that society would experience a golden age. Why? Well, because almost any job would want them, right? Like if you're a young person in a declining society, a demographically declining one, you would be able to get jobs almost everywhere. They would probably pay you a lot. It wouldn't be an issue with finding homes. Like houses would probably be extremely cheap. And so if you have a country with no immigration and a declining birth rate, the young people would absolutely dominate. The problem is that it destroys their system, the one that we talked about previously, right? Like the welfare system, the huge government system. Like it collapses. It literally cannot tax people as much if you have like an aging population, right? And so like they would have to start deconstructing that system. And this is why they're shocked about like people having babies and stuff, because like they don't want you to have babies. That's not in their mind how humans reproduce. The way humans reproduce is that you vote Democrat, and then they open the borders and people pour in, and that's human reproduction in their biology textbooks. And so anyone that tries to be against that, anyone that tries to create like a different idea, it's like, well, what about like motivating our people to have children? Like why do we need to steal someone else's kids? Why do we need to brain drain other people? They will say like, no, that's fascism. And again, it's important to understand what fascism means for the left. Most people, you know, they have like some sense of religion, whether or not they're religious themselves, but even if they're not, they probably grew up in a religious household. And the concept of good and evil does exist. Like most people have like this idea, okay, this is good and this is bad. You know, this is good and this is evil. Most leftists don't. Like they consider themselves to be hyper educated. And so they will say, well, good and evil is relative. And so like there's no point using these terms. and they completely drop it, right? But the human language does require these terms. Like, you still need to say this is good and this is evil. And so what they say instead of evil, they say fascism. So every time a leftist says fascism, they don't actually mean like the political authoritarian system of fascism, because if you look at the United Kingdom, like, they have no problem with that. You know, they have no problem with authoritarianism. They have no problem with controlling people. What they do have a problem with is not having a word for evil. And so when they say this is fascism, they don't talk about like Benito Mussolini's Italy or China or the Soviet Union. No, like they literally say this is bad, right? Like, this is evil. That's what they're trying to say. And when they say like Donald Trump is a fascist, they're saying Donald Trump is evil. And the reason he is evil is because he's, promoting an ideology which, according to them, is about no income tax, no regulations, and it's going to destroy their way of life. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. There's a video popping up right now. Like, YouTube has picked it for you. It's chosen. They think that you should watch it. So do watch it and let me know what you think. Take care.